Hey guys, welcome to my channel Shruti Karen, and today we're going to go through the 2023 and 2024 syllabus. So first off, we're going to start with the 2023 syllabus. So if you're quite familiar with the syllabus, which you can find in the HKEAA website, so this year for the 2023 syllabus, you'll notice that the weightings have changed. So usually it will be 50% for paper 1 and 30% for paper 2, with 20% for this is known as the SBA, which is the school-based assessment. But then because of COVID, they have changed their weightings. So now paper 1 weighs as 62%, which is an additional of 12%, while paper 2 is increased by 8%. Now, why they've done this is because this increase actually contributes to the 20%, which they've canceled from the SBA. So that's why they have added the additional 20% in your paper 1 and paper 2. So this generally means that you'll have no opportunity for you to increase your grades at school, and you've got to do well in your actual paper 1 and paper 2 DSE examinations. So if you consistently follow my YouTube channel and subscribe to it, you'll be able to gain lots of new materials on how you can study for your DSE English literature examination, and also what are some of the things you should keep in mind when you are preparing for the exam. So in general, paper 1 is 3 hours and paper 2 is for 2 hours. So this is not different from all the previous years. So it's generally the same thing. And then this is generally the overview of the syllabus. So I have turned the syllabus into a format which is more readable when you're looking into this video. So in terms of your novel, plays, and films, as well as your short stories, this is how the syllabus looks like. And for poetry, we have this part of the syllabus. So if you are studying in a public school, and if you're not a private candidate, you'll be able to know that your novel, plays, and films is selected by your subject teacher. So you have two options. The first one is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and the second option is Rebecca by Dalph de Maurère. And usually this is something that your teacher will choose, so you don't have an option. But you should just know that these are the two options available. And also in the following YouTube videos, you'll be able to notice how you can prepare for them when you're working on your elective examination, and how to make sure that you don't get confused when you see the actual exam on the DSC day. Because some of the DSC candidates, when they enter the exam hall for the ELIT examination, they'll find it quite complicated, because usually this is how the paper would look like. So if it's paper 1, they will give you a piece of paper and then they'll say this is part 1 and section 1, and then they will give you the title. So for example, if I say this is Great Gatsby and this is Rebecca, so GG represents Great Gatsby and R represents Rebecca. So they'll give you Great Gatsby 2 questions, Rebecca 2 questions, and following on. So people would be quite confused and they'll think that they need to do both of these questions. So it's kind of like a confusion. So before we delve into the examination structure, you should just know how the syllabus looks like, so that you don't get confused on the day and you don't pick both of the questions. So for plays, we have Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare and Educating Rita by Willie Russell. So Educating Rita was also present in the 2022 DSE examination. So you would be able to find some of the sample questions in the 2022 examination booklet for past papers when the HKEAA releases it. Also for Great Gatsby, I think it's present in the 2021 as well as the 2022. So you can look at some of these sample questions in the past paper booklet. And then for films, we have Remains of the Day, 1993, by this director, and we also have another option, which is Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock. So you can notice for the so you can notice for the novels, you have 2 options, And then for the plays, you also have 2 options, and films, you have 2 options. But again, this is something that your subject teacher at school will select for you, so you don't have any option actually. And then for short stories, these are the whole range of different short stories. So this is a memory which is also present in the 2022 examination. So the ones that I've starred over here is the ones that were present in the 2022. And then the arrows are the new additional ones they've added to the syllabus. So why am I telling you this is because you can actually look at the previous examination past papers to look at the sample questions and better prepare yourself for the DSE. And these are like the 2 new additional ones that they've added, because they've deleted the 2 old ones, so they've added the 2 new ones. So for poetry, they have Wallace Stevens, William Carlos Williams, William Blake, Thomas Hardy, and E.E. Cummings. So E.E. Cummings is a new poet they've added to the syllabus, while these 4 are present in the previous years as well. So this is from the previous years. So for each of the poet, they have 3 different poems that they have added to the syllabus. And you have to realize that for poetry, it's only in paper 2, while the novel, play, and films is, so the novels can be present in paper 1 and paper 2. Plays is in paper 1 and paper 2. The films is only in paper 1. The short stories is only in paper 1. So just to give you a better idea of the structure, so paper 1 generally will have short stories, plays, films, and novels. Whereas paper 2 will have the poems, and there will be an unseen poetry, which will be from the rattle bag. And they will also have options for you to choose from for doing either a novel or a play. But again, we will look at the structure again in the next few videos that I will create. For today, we're just going to look at the structure. So moving on, this is the examination structure for 2024. So if you're a 2024 candidate, this part will be for you. If you're not a 2024 candidate, feel free to skip on and look at the next video on my YouTube channel. So for 2024, this is how the syllabus looks like, because the HKEAA haven't revised it yet. But then if COVID continues to move on in 2023, then there'll most likely be changes to the syllabus. But for now, the syllabus looks like this. So paper 1 is going to be 50%. Paper 2 is the appreciation paper, which is 30%. And in 2024, you would have to complete an SBA, which is a 20%. Now, some people will think that this is a good thing because you have a chance to increase your grade, while some people, if you're not quite dedicated or if you're slightly lazy, then this is something that you should be worrying about, and you should start to prepare this at least in Form 5. And the duration for paper 1 is 3 hours. Paper 2 will be 2 hours. And here is how the structure of the syllabus goes through. So for novels, we have Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald or Rebecca from Delphes de Maurier. So again, this is a replication from the 2023 syllabus. So they've just repeated off the same thing. For plays, we have Merchant of Venus by William Shakespeare and Willie Russell. So if you've noticed, the play is usually, well, I mean, most of the play, at least one play will have William Shakespeare as the writer, because they want to test you on your knowledge of outdated language. So usually schools would prefer, would educate their students on another author rather than William Shakespeare, because William Shakespeare is quite difficult to study because they have like outdated language, and usually the syntax is quite archaic, so it's very difficult for students to digest. So people would prefer choosing the other writer instead. However, if you choose William Shakespeare, there's lots of advantages because you can find lots of notes online. So if you aren't very familiar with the play itself, there's lots of resources that you can obtain. But again, it's more difficult to study. And I myself have studied Educating Rita, and I think Educating Rita is a much more easier play compared to William Shakespeare because William Shakespeare plays are much more complicated and the plots are more complex compared to the other one. So moving on for the films, we have Remains of the Day by this director, and again Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, which is present in many of the previous years. So you can look at their past papers to see if you can gain some of the previous questions and try to practice on them. For short stories, as you can see, these are all from the 2022 paper. This is from the 2023 paper, and these are the 2 additional ones they've added. So this one is additional. So this ones are the additional ones. But again, because it's your syllabus, you need to study off most of it. So one of the tips that I can give you is when you're doing short stories, you do not have to study all of the short stories because in the examination, you just need to use 1 to 2. But then because you don't know what the question will be in the DSE exam, it's of course advised to study all of them. But then if, let's say you're studying in the last minute, and if you're studying during your study leave, like 1 month before your DSE exam, then you can just choose 1 to 2 of the most popular short story or the ones that can give you more points. You can just study off those and you don't need to study the rest of them. But then of course that's more risky because you cannot achieve a very high grade, and the maximum you can get is only L4 because you aren't very well prepared. So for poetry, you can see we have different authors, poets. So we have William Carlos Williams, William Blake, Thomas Hardy, E.E. Cummings, and Emily Dixon. So these 3 poets are from the 2022 exam. E.E. Cummings is from the 2023 exam, and this one is the additional one that they have added. So I really hope that by looking off at the 2023 and 2024 examination, I hope that you've understand the dissection of different parts and you're able to somehow gain a better understanding on both of the syllabus, and you're able to see the different percentages and how you can manage your time during your study leave. Feel free to move on to the other videos in the YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and comment in the comment section if you have any questions about the syllabus. So yeah, till then, thank you.